Starbucks is defined by the cafe and the coffee house experience.
Starbucks.
Love the long-term chart here.
That if Starbucks was a bank, it would rank as the 385th biggest in the country.
Every single morning, 8 million people walk into a Starbucks. 8 million people. That's more than the entire population of Switzerland, choosing to hand over their money every single day to one company. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Starbucks didn't build an empire by selling coffee. They built it by selling something far more powerful than caffeine. The Dark Empire. How Starbucks hijacked your brain, your wallet, and the entire coffee industry. Chapter 1. The cup isn't about coffee. Quick question. When was the last time you saw someone holding a Starbucks cup and thought, oh, they just needed caffeine? You didn't think that, because that's not what the cup means anymore. Starbucks spent decades and billions of dollars turning a paper cup into a status symbol. Starbucks spends almost nothing on traditional advertising, less than 1% of revenue. They don't run Super Bowl ads. They don't do billboards. Their entire marketing strategy is you. You holding the cup. You posting the cup. You being seen with the cup. They figured out something that took the rest of the world decades to catch on to. The best advertisement is a customer who feels cool for being a customer. And it worked. Starbucks has over 36 million Instagram tags. That's free advertising worth hundreds of millions of dollars, generated entirely by people who paid them for the privilege of doing it. Chapter 2. The Name Trick. Now let's talk about the name on the cup. This is one of the most quietly genius psychological tricks in retail history. When Starbucks started writing your name on cups in the 1990s, every other coffee chain thought it was weird, unnecessary, even a little pretentious. But here's what was actually happening. The moment a barista writes your name, even if they spell it wrong, especially if they spell it wrong, you now have a personalized object. And personalized objects trigger something deep in human psychology. We don't throw away things with our name on them as quickly. We hold them longer. We photograph them. In 2014, Starbucks intentionally started misspelling names more often. No, seriously. Former employees confirmed it. Because a misspelled name drives complaints, which go viral, which is free press. You were their content strategy. You just didn't know it. Chapter 3. The Loyalty Trap. Let's talk about the Starbucks app. Because what looks like a rewards program is actually one of the most sophisticated financial instruments ever created by a coffee company. Starbucks holds more than $1.5 billion in customer gift card and app balances at any given time. $1.5 billion. Just sitting there. Money that customers already paid, that Starbucks gets to hold, invest, and earn interest on before a single drink is ever made. In banking, this is called a float. Banks do this. Financial institutions do this. Starbucks does this with coffee. The Starbucks app has more regular users than most American banks have account holders. It is technically a financial product disguised as a loyalty program. And the kicker? Around 10% of those stored balances are never redeemed. People load money onto the app and forget it exists. Starbucks keeps it. Chapter 4. The menu is a weapon. Okay, let's talk about the menu. The Starbucks menu isn't a list of things they make well. It's a maze designed to make you spend more, stay loyal, and feel like an expert. 170,000. No human can memorize that. No human is supposed to. Because the complexity itself is the point. When a menu is overwhelming, customers do something predictable. They default to what they know. They order the same thing every time without thinking, and that habit is worth gold to Starbucks. Then there's the secret menu, which, by the way, Starbucks never officially created. It emerged organically online. And Starbucks' response? Do nothing. Let it grow. Because every viral secret menu drink is a marketing campaign they didn't pay for, reaching customers they'd never have reached otherwise. They turned customer creativity into a distribution channel. Chapter 5. What Starbucks Did to the Coffee Industry. Here's where things get darker, because Starbucks didn't just build a business. They restructured an entire industry around themselves. When Starbucks enters a new market, they don't just compete with local coffee shops. They redefine what coffee means in that market. They set the price ceiling. They set the aesthetic expectation. They set the ritual. When Starbucks moves in, small shops don't just lose customers. They lose the cultural conversation about what coffee is supposed to be. And their sourcing? Starbucks claims ethical coffee sourcing. They have a program called CAFE Practices. It sounds great on paper. But independent audits and investigative journalists have found significant gaps between the marketing and reality, including farms in Brazil and Guatemala where labor violations were documented even after suppliers passed Starbucks' own audits. The Green Mermaid logo was designed to feel warm, coastal, human. But when you're the largest coffee chain on earth, the supply chain is anything but small. Chapter 6. The Worker Problem. And then there are the people making your drinks. Between 2021 and 2023, Starbucks workers launched one of the largest union drives in American corporate history. Over 400 stores voted to unionize. Starbucks' response? They closed some of the most active union locations. They fired organizers, actions that the National Labor Relations Board later ruled as illegal retaliation in multiple cases. The NLRB filed over 80 complaints against Starbucks related to union busting between 2021 to 2023. The same company that put "Come as you are" on their cups and calls their employees partners spent tens of millions of dollars on union avoidance consultants. That's not a contradiction. That's a brand strategy colliding with a business reality. Chapter 7. Why you keep going back. So, knowing all of this, why do 8 million people still walk through that door every morning? Here's the honest answer. Starbucks is exceptionally good at one thing above everything else: selling comfort. The smell, the music at exactly the right volume, the lighting, the names, the ritual of customization that makes you feel like your drink is yours. For a lot of people, a Starbucks order isn't a coffee purchase. It's a moment of control in an uncontrollable morning. It's a treat in a hard week. It's a signal to yourself that the day is beginning. Starbucks didn't stumble into that insight. They engineered it, tested it, scaled it, and then protected it with lawyers, lobbyists, and loyalty points. The dark truth about Starbucks isn't that it's evil. The dark truth is that it's brilliant, and that brilliance came at a cost that most people sipping their $8 lattes never think about. So next time you're in that drive-through line, cup in hand, stars accumulating on your app, you're not just a customer. You're a micro-investor in a $100 billion machine. You're a content creator for their marketing department. You're a float balance on their quarterly earnings call. And hey, the coffee's still pretty good. If you want to see how another brand built an empire on the same psychological playbook, subscribe. Because we're just getting started.